So, OpenAI, the team that brought us ChatGPT, has just dropped something new. And no, it's not about writing poems or emails this time. This is a tool aimed at one of the most important areas of human progress, scientific research. It's called Prism, and its whole mission is to fundamentally change and, speed up how science itself actually gets done. And look, this quote from their announcement really hits home. It's not just some feel-good line. It highlights the stakes. I mean, think about it. Scientific progress is what drives societal progress. So if we can make science go faster, we can make everything go faster. But there's a big problem, a major roadblock. There's this massive disconnect in the world of science. On one hand, you've got these incredible, mind-bending discoveries. The stuff that pushes the absolute frontiers of what we know. But on the other hand, the day-to-day work, the writing, the citing, the formatting is often stuck in the dark ages, using these clunky, totally disconnected tools. It basically puts a speed limit on breakthroughs. All right, let's really dig into this everyday struggle, because the issue isn't a shortage of brilliant ideas. It's about all this hidden friction in the process that's just slowing everything down. And, the problem is something you can almost feel. Just picture a scientist trying to write a groundbreaking paper. They're not in some sleek, focused workspace. Nope. They're juggling a word processor for drafting, a PDF viewer for their sources, a totally separate reference manager, probably a LaTeX compiler, which is like a whole coding language for papers with complex math, and then another chat window for AI help. Every single time they switch, their focus just shatters. This workflow here, it just lays it all out, doesn't it? You draft a little in one window, then, bam, you gotta stop, switch over, and search for a paper. Then you're jumping into a citation manager. Then you're spending way too long just fighting with the formatting. And if you want some AI help, you have to copy and paste everything into a different tool, losing all the important context of your work. It is so inefficient, and it just drains your creative energy. So, that's the mess we're in. And this is where OpenAI's solution, Prism, comes into the picture. It's built from the ground up to be an AI-native workspace, specifically designed to get rid of all that friction we were just talking about. Okay, so what is Prism, really? The key is right here in the definition. This is not just another text editor. It's an integrated environment where the AI, and we're talking about OpenAI's latest model, GPT-5.2, is woven directly into the workspace. It's not some separate button you click on. It's part of the fabric of the tool. And get this isn't some brand new thing they just whipped up overnight. OpenAI actually went out and acquired a company called Crixit, which already had a mature, solid platform for scientific writing. So they've taken that strong foundation and then supercharged it with their most advanced AI. That's a huge head start. All right, so we've got the problem and we've got the solution. Now let's get into the how. How does Prism actually create a smarter, more unified workflow for these researchers? This is the big question Prism is built to answer. We're not talking about an AI that understands a single paragraph you paste into a chat box. We're talking about an AI that understands the entire paper, the structure, the equations, the references, the figures, all of it, all at the same time. And that deep understanding unlocks some absolutely incredible stuff. You can draft and revise with an AI that sees the whole picture. You can search for literature on sites like Archive without ever leaving your document. The AI can analyze your equations and your citations for you. And this one is just wild. You can take a photo of a whiteboard diagram and Prism will turn it into clean LaTeX code. And you're doing all of this while collaborating with your team in real time. And that real-time collaboration, oh man, this is huge. It completely ends the nightmare of emailing different versions of a paper back and forth. You know what I'm talking about? Files named manuscript_v4_final_final_Jane's edits, that whole thing, gone. Everybody works in the same document, and every change is reflected instantly for the entire team. Okay, let's zoom out for a second, because this is so much more than just a better text editor. The vision here is much bigger. It's about transforming the very infrastructure of how science gets done. So what's the broader impact here? For starters, check this out. Unlimited collaborators. Now, that might just sound like a number, but think about what that really means. It signals a huge commitment to large-scale open science. It means massive international research teams, maybe tackling things like climate change, can all work together seamlessly, without worrying about seat licenses or access levels. And then there's the price tag. It's zero, absolutely free.
Making Prism free to use is, you could argue, its most significant feature. It just rips away a huge barrier to entry. Researchers at smaller universities in developing countries or just someone early in their career, they now have access to a top-tier, world-class tool. It really does level the playing field.
OpenAI makes this really powerful comparison here. They suggest that just like AI tools, think GitHub Copilot, completely transformed software development back in 2025, a similar profound shift is about to kick off for science in 2026. Let that quote sink in for a second. By slashing all that friction in the day-to-day work, you're not just making a scientist's life a little easier, you're freeing up countless hours of collective brain power to focus on what actually matters: discovery. It's a huge step toward accelerating science itself. And this really brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. If we can fundamentally speed up the engine of scientific progress, if we can make it more efficient, more collaborative, and more accessible for everyone, what happens next? What new medicines, what new sustainable technologies, what new understandings of our universe are now just a little bit closer? That is the future that Prism is hoping to unlock.